Hi, I'm Ms. Matsuoka, and today I'm going to teach you about how to work with properties of parabolas. So, we have these different properties, the axis of symmetry, the vertex, maximum or minimum, and the X-Intercepts, and that's what we're going to be working with today. You're going to be given a graph, and we're going to identify these different things about the parabola using the graph. So the first thing that we're looking at is the axis of symmetry. Now it's a vertical line that splits the parabola in half. Think symmetry. It's the same on both sides. So we're looking for a vertical line, right, up and down, that makes it the same on both sides. So it's not going to be here, because it's not the same on both sides. It's not going to be here, over here. It's not going to be like this, because that's not a vertical line. It's right here, because that would mean it's the same on both sides. So I'm going to just draw a little dashed line there. So it's always going to be x equals, and it's the number that it crosses at. So it's x equals 2. Next thing we look at is the vertex. So the vertex is where the parabola changes direction. So maybe the parabola starts up, and then at some point in time it starts going down. This particular parabola, it starts going down, and then over here it changes directions and starts going up. So this point right here, that's our vertex. It's always going to be a point, so this is the point 2, negative 2. Okay. Now, when we determine if it's a maximum or a minimum, we're looking at the vertex to see is it the highest point, which is a maximum, or the lowest point of the graph, which is a minimum. So, right here, if we look at the graph here, this vertex is the lowest point, right? It's not the highest point, it's the lowest point on our parabola. So, it's going to be a minimum here. Alright, lastly is our x-intercepts. So it's where the parabola crosses or touches the x-axis. So right here, we look at our x-axis, right? That's that horizontal line. And we look at where the parabola crosses it. So right here and right here. Those are both going to be points. They're both points that end with 0. Okay, so they're both points that end with 0. Because that's where this is for the y's. So this one's 1 over, so that's positive 1, 0, and 3, 0. So 1, 0, and 3, 0 are our x-intercepts. Alright, let's look at a couple other examples. So let's look at this one right here. First off, we look at the axis of symmetry. Remember, that's that vertical line that splits it in half. So that vertical line looks like it's going to be right here that splits it in half. So that would be x equals, right, because it's always going to be x equals negative 2, because that's where it crosses right here. So that's x equals negative 2. Our vertex, remember, that's the point where it turns around. So it starts by going down, 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 and then right here, it turns around and starts going up. So it changes direction right here. That's going to be at negative 2, negative 2. Okay, on to the next part. Maximum or minimum. Is the vertex the highest point or the lowest point? So it's the lowest point here, so it's my minimum. Alright, lastly is my x-intercepts. Where does it cross the x-axis? So it crosses in two places, one right here and one right here. Remember, your points will always end in 0. And right here, that's negative 4. So we have negative 4, 0, and that right there is 0, 0. Okay, let's look at our second example, and then we'll be on to the bonus question. So here's my axis of symmetry. I'm looking again at where does it get split in half. It gets split in half right here. That's going to be at x equals 1. Don't forget that x equals. It's a very common mistake. The vertex is a point, right? It's the point where it turns around. It's going up, 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 and then right here it starts going down. So that's at the point 1, negative 1. Okay, the vertex is a maximum because it is the highest point on your graph. And let's look at those x-intercepts. So the x-intercepts are where it crosses the x-axis. So this is my x-axis. It actually never crosses, right? I don't see my graph ever going up to cross. So in this case, this is going to be none. Alright, so here is your bonus question. You are finding your axis of symmetry, your vertex, maximum or minimum, and your X-Intercepts. Good luck!